Hello guys, welcome back to your channel. So today we are going to learn how to validate a date using validation rules in Salesforce. Now this is a very common requirement in real-time project. For example, preventing user from selecting past dates. Ensure end date is after start date. Stop user from entering future date of birth. And the best way to do all these things, we are using validation rules in Salesforce. So let's learn all the things with some real-time examples. First, let's understand the basic concept. The date validation means checking whether the date is entered by the user follows the business rules. For example, if the date is invalid, Salesforce blocks the record by saving. User receives an error message. For this real-time example is, imagine you are creating a leave request. The leave start date is 10th of June and the leave end date is 5th June. In here, what happened? The end date is before the start date. So this is not a make a sense, right? Validation rules can prevent this type of mistakes automatically. Then common date functions used in validation rules. So then what are the common validation rules we are using for which related to dates? Before creating rules, let's understand the basic function. For example, we have a something like today function. So today function is returns the today date. For example, today is 13/5, 2026. If we use today function for any Salesforce date field, it will return the today date. Now, we have one more function like now. So if we use now function, it will return the current date time. Useful for when we are storing date time fields. So if you use the date function, it will create a specific date. For example, 13th May 2026, like that. So for this, we will go with one real-time example. Then it will more easier to understand. So currently, I have one object like receipt. So in this receipt, I open one record. So currently in here, I have one field like approved date. So currently the value is 1/2/2026. So what happened is currently it will work like if I click on edit, even I select any date, any past or future date, automatically record is getting saved. So what happened? The receipt is created on 29/5/2026, but the approved date is even we can select any date. I don't do like this. My business requirement is the approved date is always need to be after the receipt date, not able to select the before dates. So how we can do? So we need to add some validation rules here. So how we can add? So first I will click on gear icon, click on edit object. Then go to validation rules. So we have a validation rules. Click on new validation rules. Date validation rule for approve date. So I will give one label. Then below we need to add the condition. We need to insert the field. So I need to insert two fields. One is receipt date and the second one is approved date. First I will insert receipt date. So I will insert. Then I need to add one more operator like greater than or equal to. So then greater than. Then I need to insert one more field like approved date. So my thing is if always approved date need to be future. So that's why. So then click on check syntax. Currently it is as no error. So then we need to add error message. So I will add like approved date not be passed. So then click on save. So once you saved, again go back to your receipt object, refresh it. So again you try to add past dates. So currently the 29/5/2026 is the receipt date. So what I will do, I will add 27 as the approved date. So what it will do, it will like approved date not be in the past. So if I select 30, then so what I did, I select future date. So that's why it will automatically saved without showing any error. So this is how we can add the validation rules for the date fields. So then what are the common mistakes people do using text field instead of date fields? Date validation functions only works properly when we use date as a field. So wrong comparison operator. Many beginners accidentally use like greater than instead of lesser than. So in that time, it will not work as per our requirement. For example, if the field is optional, we can use is blank. So in that time, it will check the field is blank or not. So yeah, this is how we can create validation rules for the dates. So date validation rules helps maintain data quality. They prevent user from entering invalid data. So once you learn date validation properly, you will able to handle many real world Salesforce requirement within simple way. So this is for today's tutorial. I hope you understand these things. Thank you for watching.